When National Park staff noticed the female elephant's belly had swollen to incredible proportions, they raised the alarm and began round-the-clock monitoring. But no one could have imagined what was hiding inside that gigantic belly. When the time came for birth and Jonas saw what was happening, he froze in amazement. What happened next shocked everyone. The elephant named Mayra had been known to all staff of Etosha National Park, which stretches across Namibia's territory for many years. Jonas, an experienced biologist and veterinarian who had worked at Etosha for over 20 years, remembered her as a calf, a clumsy, curious creature that always stayed close to the herd. Now, Mayra had become a majestic female, one of the calmest and most friendly elephants in the area. But several months ago, staff noticed something unusual. Mayra was pregnant, and this was joyful news. However, as the weeks passed, her belly grew at an alarming rate. In African elephants, pregnancy lasts about 22 months, the longest among all mammals. By the end of this period, a calf typically weighs around 240 pounds. But Mayra's size clearly exceeded all reasonable limits. Her belly wasn't just large, it was abnormally enormous, as if something far more massive than one calf was inside. Initially, the team assumed she was carrying an especially large calf, but Jonas, whose experience with elephants included hundreds of birth observations, felt something different was happening. His intuition told him that Mayra harbored something extraordinary. The decision was made to fit the elephant with a GPS tracker. Jonas performed the procedure under light sedation when Mayra was calmly resting at a waterhole, minimizing stress for the animal. This would allow tracking her movements across the park's vast territory. The team organized round-the-clock duty, dividing into shifts. Day and night, one of the staff monitored the tracker signal, ready to drive to Mayra at any moment. As the expected birth date approached, the elephant became less active. She rested in the shade for long periods, her movements slow and cautious. The enormous belly made walking difficult. Near the spot Mayra had chosen for rest, a full observation post with medical equipment was set up. Jonas prepared a special kit for emergency birth assistance. He had helped animals bring offspring into the world many times, but each time tested his nerves. With elephants, everything was especially delicate. These intelligent giants are sensitive to stress, and any careless intervention could turn tragic. Several times the team heard Mayra emitting quiet groans. Her mate, a massive bull with impressive tusks, stayed nearby the entire time, clearly worried about his partner's condition. The rest of the herd also kept close, as if the animals sensed something important approaching. Then one morning, a message came from patrol. Mayra hadn't moved from one spot in an open section of savanna for 2 hours. Jonas instantly gathered the team, loaded equipment into the Jeep, and they raced to the location indicated by the tracker. The tension was almost palpable. Everyone understood. The fate of not only Mayra, but also her future offspring was being decided. When they arrived, the scene was both touching and alarming. Mayra lay on her side, her breathing heavy and uneven. The bull stood several yards away, shifting from foot to foot. Jonas slowly exited the vehicle, speaking softly to the elephant. Remarkably, Mayra recognized him. She moved her ears and showed no aggression as he approached. Jonas understood there was no time to waste. He gave Mayra a drug to stimulate labor. It was a risky step, but there was no alternative. About 30 minutes later, contractions intensified, and the first calf emerged into the world. The newborn immediately began moving and let out a first-week squeak. The team erupted in joy, but Jonas couldn't relax. Mayra continued groaning, her belly still swollen. He carefully felt her side and sensed continuing contractions. His heart began racing. Twins in African elephants are incredibly rare. In the wild, such cases are recorded once every few years across the entire continent. And even when twins are born, both calves survive only in isolated cases. Maternal milk is usually insufficient for two. Another 15 agonizing minutes passed, and the second calf appeared. This was an incredible moment for Etosha. Jonas, who had witnessed hundreds of births in his career, had never been present at the birth of elephant twins. Both calves were alive, breathing, and trying to stand on trembling legs. Their wet skin glistened under the rays of morning sun. Mayra was exhausted to the limit but clearly felt relief. Jonas quickly wiped both calves and checked their condition. Both were smaller than a typical newborn elephant calf, which is typical for twins, but looked surprisingly strong and active. The mother tried to lift her trunk and gently touched her babies, as if checking they were real. The bull cautiously approached, his enormous figure eclipsing the morning sun. He sniffed the calves, then wrapped his trunk around Mayra in a touching gesture of support. The rest of the herd began emerging from the bushes. The elephants surrounded the new family in a protective ring, and in that moment, it seemed the entire savannah froze in reverence before the miracle of life. Jonas stepped back, giving the family time together. The bull turned his head toward him and raised his trunk as if expressing gratitude. This was one of those rare moments when the boundary between human and animal blurred, giving way to mutual respect and recognition of life's value. When Mayra finally stood, leaning on her partner, both calves awkwardly toddled under her massive body, instinctively seeking milk. Jonas felt tears welling in his eyes. In 20 years of work, this event eclipsed everything before. He sent a message over the radio, his voice trembling with emotion. Shouts of joy erupted from the other end. The entire park had been following Mayra's fate, but joy mixed with anxiety. Jonas knew the statistics. The chances of both calves surviving were minuscule. The team decided to provide Mayra with supplemental nutrition and round-the-clock monitoring. The following weeks were critical. Staff daily delivered mineral supplements to the family's habitat and ensured the elephant received enough water and vegetation. Fortunately, Mayra proved to be an amazing mother. She produced enough milk for both babies, constantly switching between them, ensuring each got their share. The bull and the rest of the herd protected the calves from predators and helped them learn to walk the savannah. After 3 months, both calves not only survived, but thrived. They frolicked in the sun, learned to use their little trunks, and followed their mother everywhere. Jonas regularly checked their condition, and each time his heart filled with pride. Mayra's twins became a symbol of hope for the entire park, proof that even nature's most incredible miracles are possible. The story of Mayra and her twins spread around the world when the park published photos and videos of this rarest case. For Jonas and his team, it remained forever a reminder of why they chose this difficult work. For moments like these, when you witness a true miracle of nature,